Huge news today regarding the COVID vaccine in Washington. By April 15th, it'll be made available to anyone in the state over the age of 16. So tonight, we're tracking vaccine availability all across the inland Northwest.
Tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from the priest who was saved from that St. Charles Elementary School fire. The North Spokane school has now been closed for 2 weeks.
And the Zags just keep on dancing in the NCAA tournament. They're headed to the Final Four for only the second time in program history.
We give you a look at the Final Four swag that you can buy before the big game Saturday. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. New at 6 tonight, the Kootenai County Board of Commissioners says a record-breaking number of applicants have now applied for a seat on the Panhandle Health District Board. Nurse Jay Nelson will not be returning to her position on the board after her term ends.
But now some are suggesting another member of the board also be replaced. By the way, the two of them are the only ones who voted to keep the mask mandate in place earlier this month. Our Morgan Trow has more from the commissioner's chairman.
You would think watching the backlash the Spokane Regional Health District faced when they fired Dr. Bob Lutz would be a warning to Panhandle. However, one commissioner suggested removing their most outspoken mask advocate and only physician on the board.
Dr. McLandris? Here.
Typically, only one person will apply to be on the Panhandle Health District Board if there's a seat available.
This is highly unusual to have 17 applicants. That it's just, and I think it goes back to the mask mandate.
The board voted 5-2 to rescind their mask mandate last week. The two members that voted against it were Nurse Jay Nelson and Dr. Richard McLandris. Chairman of the Board of County Commissioners Chris Filio says he never expected so many people to apply for Nelson's upcoming vacant seat on the board. After her term is up in the spring, she will not be seeking reappointment. Kootenai County Commissioner Leslie Duncan thinks Nelson is not the only one who should go.
I think she might be hearkening back to perhaps even his general position strongly in favor of the mask mandate.
Filio said that Duncan called for the removal of the Kootenai health physician during a meeting on Monday. He says that the commissioners will most likely proceed to an executive session to discuss Dr. McLandris' position.
Some of them have been there for a long time, such as Dr. McLandris, and have rendered decisions that in essence were harmless in most cases. But this happened to be one that was a very passionate topic. And so that's what people are focused on. And I believe, as we said earlier, that's what precipitated, I think, this voluminous number of resumes that we've received.
The doctor was appointed to the Board of Health in 1985 and serves as the board's physician representative. He is also a partner at Family Medicine Coeur d'Alene and is currently the program director of the Kootenai Health Family Medicine Residency Program.
Do you think that somebody who has been on the board for so long should be removed just because they had a controversial opinion?
No. And the question that I posed during our meeting on Monday was, if you have or had an employee that's been with us for 30 years and rendered one commercial decision, would you fire that individual? My answer is I wouldn't.
What was Commissioner Duncan's?
I don't think she thought the question was necessarily fair, but I think it's, in my opinion, it was relevant.
She does not have a healthcare background.
No, not that I'm aware of.
We reached out to both Dr. McLandris and Commissioner Duncan. Dr. McLandris told us he wants to stay on the board and says that if Duncan wants to remove him from his role prior to the end of his term, then she will need the vote. Each of the 5 northern counties has 3 commissioners, and 2 out of 3 would have to vote in favor of removal. Filio says that he, as only being one commissioner, has refused to replace the doctor. Duncan says she does not have a comment for us at this time. Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Well, tonight the Cheney School Board will discuss expanding in-person learning for middle and high school students. It's happening at a meeting tonight. The district is proposing bringing all middle and high school students back 5 days a week for in-person learning starting on April 19th. The district will continue to offer a distance learning option as well. The meeting has just gotten underway. It started at 6 p.m. Well, we are committed to bringing you the latest information on back to school.
Yeah, so here's what you need to know about which schools are now discussing bringing kids back to in-person learning. Spokane Public Schools also hosting a special meeting this evening to provide an update on kids coming back to the classroom. They're also talking about other things, including some proposed boundary changes as well as a name change request for Sheridan Elementary School. That meeting started at 5. We'll make sure to have more for you tonight on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11. Also today, West Valley School Board approved a plan to bring all preschool and high school students back 100% to in-person learning by April 12th. The middle school students will also be back 100% by April 19th. The board approved changes as well to the virtual learning option for middle and high schoolers. To see their full plan, just go to our website, krem.com. Well, you've heard about the Stop Asian Hate movement in the news lately. It's a movement to stop hate and any type of hate act toward the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities.
Well, here in the inland Northwest, racism happens quietly, according to one Spokane man. Regina Ahn is in the newsroom tonight with more on his perspective. Hi, Regina.
Hi, Whitney, Tom. So yeah, I got the chance to speak with Brock Woodson, a Marine Corps vet and a bladesmith from Spokane. And he tells me throughout his life, he's never really experienced any racism until he met his now wife, who's Asian American.
People that have never had to deal with racism, they don't see it. And I know myself, I was in the Marine Corps, and you don't see racism in the Marine Corps. You're not supposed to. Everybody's green. And I never really did. And so I kind of was blind to it.
And tonight, Brock and his wife, Katie, both talk with me about their experiences, especially now with their new son and the heightened anxiety they feel with their little one. They tell me hate also isn't always big or obvious, and they talk about the change they hope to come. Be sure to watch tonight on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11. For now, live here in the newsroom, Regina Ahn. Whitney, back to you.
Regina, thank you very much. An important message for all of us. All right, Tom, today been another gorgeous spring day. Sounds like tomorrow could be even better.
Yeah, I think we're going to see temperatures in some areas actually climb into the low 70s. Lewiston, Clarkston, talking to you. We've got warm weather on the way. Clear and cold, though, tonight, with some temperatures dropping back down into the 20s. It'll be partly cloudy, warmer tomorrow with highs in the mid to upper 60s across most of the viewing area. And then I've got sunshine on Friday. And then for the weekend, it will be mild and partly to mostly cloudy, depending on the time of day. We're now at 56 degrees. Wind is out of the south at 9 miles per hour, as you can see. Again, just an absolutely stunner of a day. We'll go from clear and cool to clear and cold in the, or partly cloudy and cold overnight with a low of about 33. I've got a high tomorrow expected of 66 degrees. It's Easter weekend. Let's take a look at that forecast. I've got 64 on Saturday and mostly cloudy on Sunday as well. Easter Sunday morning, slight chance of showers, but loving that overnight low temperature where we've got temps, as you can see, only dropping down to 41 degrees. So should be relatively dry for the Easter Bunny early Sunday morning.
Easter Bunny says thank you for that. All right, brand new tonight, we are hearing for the first time from the priest who was saved from the St. Charles Elementary School fire. That North Spokane school has been closed since that fire was started intentionally 2 weeks ago.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was at the school today and spoke with Reverend Esteban Soler.
Good evening. Just about 2 weeks ago, Father Esteban Soler, who lives here on campus at St. Charles Elementary, was woken abruptly by a Spokane police officer to safely escape the fire. He's speaking publicly for the first time today and says he is grateful to that officer who woke him early that morning, as well as the outpouring of support he's received from the community. Now, he gave a brief tour today of the building to see the fire damage from outside, looking in through the windows. Now, the morning of that fire, the priest was only able to pack a small bag of his belongings before getting to safety. Today was our first chance to see the fire damage up close, and we could see significant damage to the priest's living quarters and to the parish main offices. Now, here is Father Soler's account of what happened that morning.
I was frustrated more than scared, actually, probably because I was still asleep and trying to, realize the situation, what's happening, and then thinking of all the things that I needed to think. I called Heather, the principal, right away because we needed to have a plan to early in the morning inform the parents that we were not having classes, the other steps that we needed to take in order to advise parishioners and take care of business.
Now, Spokane police have arrested a suspect they believe started the fires intentionally at St. Charles Elementary. A family member identified Rio Mirabal as the person in the photos and security camera footage released by police. Now, Father Soler says he is glad police caught him so that he cannot bring harm to others or himself. He prays he gets the help he needs. Now, students of St. Charles Elementary are still learning remotely for the time being. And the priest also says they have rented a tent that will be set up behind the church on the lawn for future services this week. They'll be posting updates about that on its website. Reporting in North Spokane tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, calling all baseball fans. The Mariners opening tomorrow. How cool is that?
I love it. Everything you need to know about opening day and coronavirus protocols. Next.